Generic greetings and welcome to Construction Plus Prison Architect Alpha 27 Episode 1. In the previous alpha, we did not finish our prison. Now, normally what we do is we'll start a new prison, actually finish it off in 1 month. That's the plan. Every alpha, we start and finish a prison. However, I didn't manage to finish this one because it was a little bit larger than usual. Normally I do a small map, but we went for a medium for this one just to try a couple of new things out. And some of them worked, some of them didn't. But I asked at the end of last episode, what do you want to do in terms of this prison? Do you want to finish it off? Do you want to continue? Do you want to delete it? Do you want to set it on fire? And most of the votes were going towards continuing, so that's what we're going to do. So we've rolled it over onto Alpha 27. This is Alpha 27 that we're running now, which has changed a couple of things and added one thing, and I'll run through that in a moment. But the idea is that we're just going to continue on our original plan. So just to, sort of go through again what we're actually doing here, we have 3 cell blocks. We've got a fairly large one in the middle. That is our, I guess you would call, standard cell block. That has high-risk prisoners in it. We can see we've only got high-risk prisoners in it. I say we've only got high-risk prisoners. We've got high-risk and higher risk. We've got supermax as well. So the thing is, we get prisoners in and we put them in here by default, unless they are violent or aggressive or deadly or legendary. Then they become supermax and then live in this cell block here, which, as you can see, is heavily guarded. We've got an armed guard, we've got a dog, we've got other guards walking around. That's where they go here. The one up the top, this one here, will be for protective custody, which I know it is actually too large for our needs, but that's just the original plan and we're going to stick with it because it should work. And as you can see, our metal detectors are functioning as well. Anyway, the whole point is that we split these off, and then we can bring them to the canteen at different times. So we'll have the same regime for, I guess you would call it the high risk. The high risk and probably the legendary may even have the same regime, but we'll see. But then we'll also alter the regime so that we never really have the protective custody people outside when or rather they're not going to be eating here when the others are. So that's the point in that. That's what we're going to do with that one. But obviously, that's going to take a little bit of doing. So we're just going to continue on along that line. We've still got a lot of building to do. Actually, we've got most of the floor needs to be put in. As you can see, it's just all standard concrete floor. We need to deal with that. We need to finish this cell block up here. Sadly, we've only got 8,537 generic units of currency. We receive 9,900 per day, which is good. We're currently over capacity at the moment. So we've got 107 prisoners with a maximum of 104, which is interesting. So I don't know where the spares are. I'm guessing in that holding cell there, but so far it's okay. We're on day 18, total time played 5 hours 7 minutes, so we're not doing too bad. You can see danger levels low and loads of prisoners say they are well fed. So let's just run through the changes for this alpha. So the main change, I guess you could call it, is the kitchen and canteen system. And yeah, again, we're going back to that. Pretty much Alpha 1, there's going to be changes in the canteen system. Alpha 2, we've changed it. Alpha 3, 4, 5, 6. It's basically a never-ending cycle, right? It's constantly changing the canteen and kitchen relationship. So primarily, well, I guess you could call it the final take, hopefully, on actually altering how these things work. I've just realized that these 2 store servos are not powered up. I'll have to deal with that in a moment. If we go to deployment, we can now click on a logistics button, and what that does is shows what kitchen is feeding or supplying what canteen, and in turn what prisoners are going to be going to that canteen. So as you can see, this kitchen here, this is pretty default, it's pretty standard because we've only got one kitchen and canteen, so it doesn't show you exactly how these work, but you can see that the kitchen is supplying this canteen, okay? That's automatically selected. That's what the game just said. Yep, that's what we're going to do. That's what it's what the it's going to be set as. And then all of these other ones, so you can see all of our cell blocks, so that cell block, that cell block, that cell block, and these holding cells then have sort of lines going to the canteen showing where they're going to go when it's eat time, okay? Now, if we had 2 canteens, originally the problem would be that some prisoners might go to a different canteen. To stop that, you would obviously select max sec or protective custody only or whatever to them canteens, and it means that only certain prisoners can go there. But that still didn't stop the kitchen trying to cook food, say, here, and then sending it up to here. So that's something that you had a big problem with. You really had to I guess, hope that it was going to send the food to the right place. Last alpha, they changed it so food just teleported from the kitchen to the canteens, or rather from canteen to canteen, I believe. So there was always a supply, but now it doesn't do that. It is all set up, so this kitchen is supplying that. If we had a canteen here, then it wouldn't automatically select it because it figures out that this one is closer, but you could then click on that canteen, that kitchen rather, and say that common room there, and that would supply it, okay? Obviously, we don't want to do that, because, can we do that? Yeah, we can. We can actually select that there. That doesn't work out. Yeah, so I could say, yes, supply that common room. Okay, but if that, obviously it's not going to supply it because it doesn't have any supply or demand. As you can see, there's demand and there's a supply. Currently, there's neither because we're not cooking anything, and there's no demand for it because of the scheduling, because we haven't got any eat time, so there's no supply or demand for that. But as soon as there's supply or demand, obviously they'll start cooking food, and then that'll go to there. All the prisoners will head here. I'm guessing you can change, yeah, you can change where the prisoners go for food as well. But yeah, that's one of the good things with the canteens, so you can make multiple canteens. I've already had several requests to actually change this prison around. We're just going to change that to max set because that's what it should be. Yes, I've already had several requests to actually change this thing around so we actually have a separate canteen for the different areas, and I am not going to do that. I'm just going to flat out say no, because that's entirely against the idea of what we're doing here. Having one common area, this whole thing here, this whole block here is the common area, okay, the universal area. Then these are sectioned off, and we'll use the regime to make it sort of separate sections. In fact, some people have already said that one thing we could do is have some door control set in and actually lock these doors here at certain times, and I actually like that idea, so we might get on with that later on in the series. So basically, as soon as it goes to the regime, say if I go to my regime and say protective custody, no, we haven't got one yet because we haven't got anyone, but say Supermax, we'll change Supermax so they don't work and they only come to eat just after or just before the normal security, or rather our maximum security, because we don't have normal security in this thing. But yes, they'll come to eat before then, so it means that we'll lock all the doors and they'll never see each other. That's sort of the whole point in this. That was the plan. Anyway, we'll be doing that later on. As I said, at the moment we're just trying to build or finish off what we've got here. There's a couple of things I want to do and change, but we'll get onto that later on in the series. Another addition for this alpha is the scheduling. Now, programs have always been a little bit problematic. It's been, you know, figuring out, it generally figured things out okay. It would, you know, assign different rooms and times to different things, and that would be okay, but it could be problematic. So you can now go to edit schedule, and it opens up basically an Excel bloody spreadsheet, and you can change it around. So you can say behavioural therapy, I want to be over there, or say found education over there. These green bits denote work time, so you can only actually train and you know, teach people in work time, and, you know, do the alcoholics group therapy and things like that. So that's all the work time there, but you can move it around and say, oh, behavioural therapy. Oh god, good grief. Let's just hang on, behavioural therapy. Let's just start another one there and reschedule it. But yes, it can be automatically done like that. So the computers just work this out, AI's just work that out, or you can just edit it yourself. That's quite good. Don't know how much I'll be using that, but it's good to have that option. Finally, the main addition to this alpha is phone tap. There they are there. Now, you can use phone taps to listen in on prisoners' conversations, and they will tell you what you've got or what they've planned, and it also tells you things like what their traits are. They'll talk about themselves, say, oh yeah, I'm a really good murderer, I am, oh yes, very, very good at murdering, I do loads of murdering, yes, plus 10 points in murdering, and you go, yep, they're dangerous, and you find out that their trait is dangerous, so that is quite good, this phone tap. It's been in the game for quite a while, at least the sprite has, because if you noticed a couple of alphas ago, we were seeing that sprite there instead of potatoes and things. So yeah, I've been waiting for this one to turn up for some time. Anyway, what I'm going to do is actually put some phone taps in. I'm going to put just put 2 in, I think. You don't need more than 2, but rather you don't need more than 1 actually. But one of the problems with the phone taps is that when you connect them up, you can have unlimited connections to any phones. You do have to connect them up with logistics, but as soon as the phone, basically it would cycle through the phones Imagine the guard there sitting at the board, this board here, the phone jacks there, and he'd be unplugging one, plugging it back in, and listening. Obviously, yes, static, and then cling. I can hear a call. You know, I'm listening to a call, and then he will just listen to that, so it won't actually cycle. So you can only listen at any one time, but you can connect it to multiple phones. Okay, it's a bit weird though, because when if you look back through the sort of, I guess you could call it history of Prison Architect, the technology was a bit lo-fi in a lot of places. Like the CCTV cameras looked very sort of 80s, very 80s. You know, curved corners and only 3 cameras. But now look how sort of up to date that looks. That door control system, very techy. Same as that one there. Look at that. In fact, that one reminds me of. I guess that one is sort of, you know, 80s, isn't it? I guess, but you know what I mean. It's sort of, it was always a bit lo-fi-ish, and that one is really, look at that one. That's like, you've got these jacks and you've got a bloody tape recorder there and such. So yeah, it's interesting, that one. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. Let me just go to utilities, electrical cable, and I just need to connect up that electrical cable there and the connect up. Hang on, it's bloody glitched out. Electrical cable. That one there, and then that should power them up. I mean, they still function, you understand. They still work. It's just they're shouting for the electricity. Oh, we need some electricity, so I'll feed them. I'll feed them a bit of lecky. Right, okay. We also need to go back to utilities now that I think of it. Got a small pipe and run a small pipe right down the left-hand side there and straight up the other side as well. And this will put in all of the piping for our toilets. There we go. Obviously this thing here being protective custody, so we need to arrange that. We need to sort that out, but get some people in protective custody so we can well, keep them safe, I guess. But so far we've not really had anyone, well, no need to put them in that. If we just go to our contraband and then to informants, obviously we can see all of our informants here, but none of them are a known snitch, so we know that none of them is they're actually snitches. There's a pack of cigarettes we just found. Look at all these here. Tough, instigator, deadly, extremely volatile, tough, strong. All these super high-risk prisoners. We've got a lot. I mean, look, actually, are we maxed out on that? I've just realised we are actually maxed out on Supermax. That's bad. Right. Okay, that's bad. We're going to have to change some of these designations then, because... Let's click on him. Looks like we found something there. We're going to change his designation to maximum security and move him back out. Let's pause it for a second and have a quick look. So, tough and fearless, volatile, quick. I don't think you need to be here. We'll change you to protective. No, maximum. Yes, there we go. And I can already hear it kicking off. You can see the of people bashing on the walls and such. Let's just change Paul Hill to maximum as well, and I think we need one more. Yes, Potts, I've seen him around here. Supermax, we'll change him to maximum security. There we go. So we'll unpause that and they'll go about their daily business and move away. So here we go. This is where the danger level rises sharply, and there we go. We've already got a little bit of a fight, and we apparently found a tunnel as well, but it's all the way over there, so I don't believe it. Right, so a bit of a fight here. Let's have a quick look. Who is this? Is Guildford. Unknown reputation. Does have one. It's just one person fighting here, and we are managing to take him out. Although our guard doesn't actually have... Oh, no, there's a couple more fighting. Okay, it's time to bring the guy with a shotgun inside. There we go. And you as well. Looks like there's a couple of people fighting. That guy's injured. Yeah, but we don't have a taser on that guy. There's a taser. And now it'll be danger level going down. Excellent. So, apparently there's a flag over here. Apparently there's a tunnel there. I don't believe it. I do not believe that one iota. Because to get there, they have to tunnel. Probably the closest one would be there. And they would not tunnel all the way along there. Unless they're a bit dim. They would tunnel straight down. In fact, this is something that people have been mentioning for quite a while, that we do have a tunneling problem. If people start tunneling, we don't really have anywhere to stop them, in the sense that we've only got one wall, which, you know, they have to tunnel down and then out, and then they've got fence, okay? The whole point is that this main outer wall was going to become a going to become what's it called? The big wall. The big wall. Yes. Yes, perimeter wall. It's going to become a perimeter wall when we get to it. We haven't got to it yet. Anyway, let us go to our utilities tab and then to connections. And then what I want to do is start connecting up the phones. Look at that frame rate. Or the lack of. 9 FPS. Good grief. Right, let me connect up all of these phones. Like so. Connecting, connecting, connecting. And clicky, 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 clicky. I've missed one. There's all them phones in the canteen connected to that one. The other one, we will connect up to here. Okay. And what that will do is allow us to listen in on their phone calls. So, we actually need some guards there. Why is there no guards manning the thing? Speed up to max speed here. I'm guessing it's because they weren't hooked up. Eventually some guards will come along and go on next to that. There we go. That one's on there. And then that one's on there. There we go. So we'll go back to normal speed. What we'll do, got utilities, connection again. And watch the lag. We can go on there. You can see you can see all the blue connections and there's a red one because we're listening in to that guy's call. Okay? That phone booth there. So we had a little extremely strong. Do we now, is that a new trait? Do we now know that he's extremely strong? Let's go to our contraband, informants, and we don't know yet. We know that they're talking, but we don't know exactly what traits they've got. Tough and extremely deadly. Okay, yeah, we definitely need to change that guy to Supermax. You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking that we don't need protective custody, we need more Supermax, and we could probably change this bit up here to Supermax. Is that a good idea? I don't know. I'm going to think about that one. I'm going to have a think about that one. This one was originally going to be the Supermax, and this one our protective custody. But the way I'm seeing it now, we hardly need... Well, we certainly don't need all of this as protective custody. I think in the last prison that I did, we only had, say... Just going to connect this pipe up here. We only had, say, 4, 5, maybe, maximum protective custody prisoners out of a prison that was nearly 100 strong. So, I can't really see it. And the ones that we had protective custody, we didn't really need because the protective custodies weren't the legendary prisoners, they weren't the Supermax prisoners or anything like that. They were the cop killers. We had them as cop killer, but it doesn't really matter what they are. Why is that one shouting that it's got a lack of water? I'm gonna search it. Yeah, so we didn't really have any sort of... We didn't really have a lot of Supermax prisoners, so maybe it's just not necessary. Maybe it is okay if we have... This is Supermax. Sorry, maybe it's better if we just have, say, all of that as Supermax. So we have 2 Supermax areas and no protective custody. The protective custody we could build a protective custody sort of cell block, but I don't know where it would be. If it would be anywhere, we would probably split this common room right down there, right down the middle there, and put a small protective custody area there. And it would be small. It would only be, say, sort of 5 or 6 cells, something like that. But then again, we don't really need it at the moment. I'm going to play that by ear, that one. We'll see how that one goes. We might add a protective custody area later on, we might not. I am leaning towards this going to high risk, Supermax, and we'll split the 2 up. So we'll have this one as standard and that one as Supermax. So, yeah, because we don't really need protective custody. I think I mentioned in a couple of videos, either last video or the one before that, that the whole designation system anyway is sort of it's getting more redundant as we go along. I've just moused over Paul Lindsay, who's now having a poo. Right, that's an interesting one. Just randomly mousing over things. It just said Poor Lindsay. Poo. Anyway, right, what do we need to do? We've got 12,590 generic units of currency. You can see people going in here and actually working on the workshop press and on the saws, which are quite good. We need to finish off this cell block, this common room, but as I've just, what I've just mentioned there about this being maybe a change to that, I think we'll probably leave it for now. We don't really need to bother with it. The shower needs cleaning, that's for sure. I think what I'll do is finish off this row of cells up here. So we'll go to jail dwarf, so he's going to cost 200, and then we'll run straight across the top here, and then that will make all these cells valid and increase our capacity. And what we'll probably do is, even if we do end up keeping this to the original protective custody, which I don't think we're going to do, we'll probably change it temporarily to Supermax just to get more prisoners in, and obviously change the designations, moving people around. I think that's what we'll probably end up doing. Right, it's currently free time, so I'm just going to go to our contraband informants, and we're going to start to activate some informants here. I want to activate the ones that have good coverage, but that guy's suspicion's so low, if I activate him, he's just going to be straight in bother. So let's activate just 3 for now. I think we can get away with just the 3. And obviously they're going to be... Oh, damn it, that's not good. What was that what I thought it was? Oh, no, it's just active. That's okay. I thought that was he's being found out, but that is not the case. Anyway, you can see them all going through this metal detector here, and some have been found out. Some of them are getting searched, which is good. Now, obviously, some of these are false. Some of these are actually genuine. Sometimes they could stash stuff. I remember in 1 alpha they could stash things in the metal detectors, which was not a good idea. Not a good thing at all. Anyway, what do we need to do? We need to... Oh, actually visitation's working. I know a lot of people have been mentioning about why I've got a camera at that corner there, and I guess it's just because that's... Better run some power down there, can't we? It's just because, that's how it's worked out, I guess. We've... Actually, yeah, now that I think about it, we don't really need to do that. We could just do that. That'll probably do us. In fact, we don't even that far. Yeah, it's just the way it worked out, so we can see both sides. Now, obviously, there's no point in really seeing both sides, but it's good to see who's in the visitation and what they're doing. But sadly, these booths that were designed for privacy, they give the prisoners and the visitors just that. They give them privacy, so I can't see past these walls. So I've sort of snookered myself in a way. I can't really see many things. Oh, there's some bacon being left. Look. That's something that's been, well, not, I guess we'd call it a change for this alpha. You can see that's food being left over, so we are actually cooking too much food. Look at all the food we've got here. You can see there's a lot of food. There's an egg there, there's some beans or sprouts or something all on them ones. Yeah, there's a lot of food being left over, so we're probably cooking too much food. Now, currently, if we go to our policy, meal quantity is high and the variety is high. If we change the quantity to medium, do you want to change it to medium? Yeah, we'll change it to medium. There we go. And we'll see exactly how much we get. We'll see if that's okay. We need to slowly change things around now. I mean, I've been mentioning this for quite a while now. Obviously, this construction series build prisoners, but build prisoners. What? No, we don't build prisoners. We build prisons to hold prisoners. But as I've mentioned, every alpha, the more we progress on, the more it is becoming management as well. So not just building the prison, but actually managing the thing. So that's something that we'll be able to do quite well in this series. Because obviously the prison is already half built. Right. What I need to do is go to deployment, Supermax, sign all that Supermax. Okay. I wish the red was a bit darker because it's very, very similar. Should be really, really, really dark. I like the crimson red they've gone with, but yeah, it's still darker, I think. Right. We have all these cells. Now what we need to do is go to deployment, guard patrols, set up some guard patrols. So we need to set it up all the way down there. Signy, and so how many from the wall? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 6. There we go. I think that's about right. Yep. Dog patrols. Straight down the middle. Where's Shotgun Warrior? Oh yeah, Shotgun Warrior runs along the other side. I'll put the shotgun guy in. Armed guards. Straight across. Shotgun Warrior. What a name. Shotgun Warrior! The new film from Michael Bay. Let's just put the dog patrol back in. That's K9. Good, good. Right. There's our patrols in there. Good, good. I think we need to go to staff and check. We've only got 4 armed guards, so we've actually got probably all of them assigned. Dog handlers. How many do we actually have deployed? 1, 2. Hang on. That's not required there. 1, 2. Now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, it's about right. And we have enough. I think that's about right. Yeah. We've got some sitting there, you know, they're actually, the dogs are sitting around because they haven't got the, well, they're a bit tired. We'll let them sleep in the kennel a bit. But yeah, that's generally okay. Right, sorted. So they are in here. Then what we need to do, Contraband, informants, and we need to go through all of our prisons here. Extremely, that guy there, you are now Supermax, and we're going to check every single one of these. So, strong, not really a Supermax type designation, I don't think. Don't think so anyway. Well, we could do it. Extremely tough, not really another one either. Tough, there's no roles we could really sign. Quick and an instigator, no, you definitely. It's when you mouse over the top bit there. On these you go away and start flicking all over the map. You, a Supermax, good, 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 and we'll put extremely tough guy in there. We don't need him there, but we'll just put him in there so he can go into that cell. Fearless maybe? Yeah, why not if you're fearless? He's called Dragon as well, that's interesting. Right, I think that will do us. The quick guy, you are Supermax as well, why not? There we go. It means that they are now going to go to the other Supermax cell block up there. And obviously, well, they can go to both parts. We can go to that one there or that one there. Anyway, I think we'll leave it there. So, plan for this series, just to reiterate, is to finish off, well, finish building the prison. As you can see, most of it is done. The foundation's there. Most of the rooms are complete. We need to lay all the flooring. We need to get the main wall all the way around the prison because that's something I still haven't done. And then we need to start working out different regimes for different prisoner designations. Don't know what we're going to do with the protective custody. I'm going to take your votes on that one, or rather I'd like to know what you think we should do, whether we have a little cell block here. It sort of defeats the point of having these separate, but I just think that this is, you know, I mean, people have been telling me for, you know, pretty much every episode that this is too big for protective custody, and, you know, it's not that I haven't been listening, it's just that I haven't really come to that bit yet. You know, there've been other things to deal with, so the Supermax and dealing with putting the common rooms in, and they're basically building the rest of the prison. So now that we come to that, yeah, it's sort of think about it. Yeah, that's correct. So we need to change it. I don't know what I'm going to do with protective custody. A lot of people have been asking for expansion. If we do expand, it will be to the left, and then we will put a bit of forestry in, or it might be to the right, and we'll put a bit of forestry in. Whatever we do, it'll only be a bit of forestry. We won't be getting any more prisoners, primarily because it's running like a bag of hammers at the moment. So we will see what happens. As always, comments in the comments, and that changes how these episodes go and what gets done. Thank you very much for watching. Take care, and generic partings.